Good evening. Welcome to Kenton City Council. This is the 9th regular session, and we will have a roll call to get started.
Joel Aldhauser.
Present.
Sue Fox Broker.
Present.
Lydia Miller.
Present.
Cliff Winiger.
Here.
Chad Miller.
Present.
Peg Wren.
Present.
Doris Bloom.
Present.
Robin Jones.
Here.
John Schwimmer.
Present.
Lynn Webb.
Here.
Cindy Murray.
Here.
Thank you. And ask all who are able to please stand. Short prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Almighty God, we ask your presence in this meeting as we gather to conduct the business of our city. Grant our leaders insight, humility, and strength. Bless our residents with safety and peace, and guide our decisions so they promote justice, prosperity, and unity. May all we do here be pleasing in your sight. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone, and we'll get right into it here. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as you received them? Pretty lengthy, so Emma, thank you for all of your work on that. Okay, hearing none, they'll stand approved and submitted. Citizens requesting time to speak, no one on the agenda. And we'll have time later on for anyone who didn't make the agenda who wants to speak. I have no communications. Anyone else have anything to share? No petitions at this point, so we'll get into administrative reports. Chief Musser?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Captain, anything with fire?
Yep, do. Just a couple things. The 18th through the 22nd, we're going to be doing flowing the southwest, where we flow the hydrants and that. So you guys will probably get some calls on dirty water, so on and so forth. So we usually try to wrap that up in 1 week, so it doesn't stretch it out. So that'll be the 18th through the 22nd. The only other thing I had was, I think Whitney, I'm trying to think who else worked on it, but we have a gear dryer down there at the firehouse that we got. Is that BWC? I think it was. Usually what we've done over the years is we've just hung our gear out, and we put them on posts, we put them on vehicles, we do whatever we can to get them air dried. We have 2 sets. So it's been kind of difficult over the years, but they were able to complete that grant. I believe firefighter Harmon and Whitney and some other folks worked on it, but we've used it a lot. We've used it for gear, we've used it for hose, used it for some other items too, but it's been a tremendous help in preservation of our gear. So thank you to those of you that worked on it. So.
Thanks, Kyle. Anything you want to talk about on behalf of Public Works?
Yes, so the railroad crossing with the sewer line that's coming out of Village Pantry has been postponed until the end of the month. So they are going to continue to work up along Perry Street. Hopefully get that all done and then come back and do the bore underneath the railroad tracks at the end of the month. So, and as everybody can see, we're doing some wrap-up work up here around the square, so a lot of action going on.
Railroads. All right, thanks, Cindy. Well, anything else? Okay, how about economic development? Anything, Lynn, or?
No.
You want, okay. Income tax, you do have a report in your packet. Are there any questions? You can come up and see Lynn sometime, or ask Cindy, or ask Christy, or ask finance. Those people have all the answers. Go on to auditor. Christy, anything you want to talk about?
No, just a reminder to do your fracs by, what, Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah. Submit them straight to Ann, the state auditor.
Treasurer, you do have your report, monthly report from the city auditor and the city treasurer. You actually should, at your station, there was an update to that, which also included then, I believe, the April report with some comments from Terry, our treasurer, Terry Downey, on the third page. In addition, Christie has sent all the month-end reports over the weekend. We got those. John, anything, law director?
Nothing at this time.
Cindy?
Nothing.
Lynn, anything now?
I'll wait till then.
Okay, so let's move on to committee reports. Finance?
Finance just met before this meeting, and we discussed the budget and where we're at, looks good. The upcoming audit for 2025, and also received an update on the income tax. And I was going to remind everybody about the fraud audit report due Wednesday.
Yeah, and if you all have questions on that FRAC report, there's been some years where I've tried to make it too hard to answers. I think mine's a little bit longer, but answer them as quick as you can with what you know. Don't make it too hard. Any questions for finance? Nothing really going on MOP? Anything to report there?
No.
Okay, how about public utilities?
We have a meeting Wednesday at 3:30 here in Chambers.
Nothing
We just have-
earth-shattering?
No, we have a meeting this week.
This week?
Yes.
How about streets?
Streets and alleys did meet last. Cindy, you want to talk about what you were doing with this?
Yeah, so the big thing is we had a complaint about the, up here at Detroit Street and Carroll Street, where we had the continued, like the southbound had a green before the northbound got green. So if I'm standing on the south side of the road, I see a red light, I'm crossing, and a good chance I'm going to get hit. So, from a southbound vehicle coming
Sure.
on through. So we are going to take out the green arrow and make the north and southbound green at the same time, so that you don't cross when you have red and the other lane of traffic has a green.
Where was that again?
Carroll and Detroit.
Are there walk signs, the walk?
No.
Yeah.
And we're also going to do the same thing at Hester and Columbus. Since the school's gone now, there's no need for that left-hand turn lane, so it'll be both on Columbus, because people were cutting through the parking lot because they didn't want to wait for the red light as you were going westbound, so they will both be green at the same time. So we'll put something out in the paper, an announcement, when Brian Shirk gets here. We're still waiting for a quote to do that, and when he gets here to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Legislation.
So we met on April 29th. You'll see legislation tonight on the first read for some zoning that came out of legislation this last meeting. I'll leave that to when we read it, to Cindy give the explanation more on that. Be so generous to share the spotlight with Cindy on that one. We also talked about some nuisances, tackling them, kind of coming at that. We'll be working with administration on that as well. I do know we also discussed Charter City being put back on before council in the second meeting of June, so legislation will be bringing that to council as well into this next month after June. So we will look to meet again on May 27th at 4:30.
Okay. Chat. Any questions? All right, so we'll move on then to council members. Anything regional planning, any update there?
Regional planning did not meet in May since our April meeting was late in the month. We'll meet again in June.
Okay. Parks and Rec, anything to talk about, Robin?
We meet this Wednesday at 6 o'clock here.
Cemetery Board, Sue?
They did have a meeting I had to miss because it was election day and I worked the polls, so I will have to get caught up on them. I don't think too much went on.
All right. PKP will meet a week from tonight. We'll be there monthly meeting. Old business, don't have any. New business? Anything anyone wants to bring up?
Just on the new business side, I would just put out for a reminder that this Thursday at 7 p.m., like the citizens for the Charter Initiative will be meeting up here. We encourage anybody in the city, anybody in the community and the public to attend and be informed on what's going on that side of it or even be involved in it. So
That's Thursday?
Thursday at 7 p.m.
While we're in new business, I would, I guess, ask just for a consent. In 2 weeks, is everyone okay with having a meeting on Tuesday night with respect to Memorial Day on Monday night? The intention was to bring that up 2 weeks ago, and I know.
26th, right?
Yes, so we would meet on May 26th, Tuesday, at 7 p.m., if that is okay with everyone. Seeing a lot of nodding heads, so we'll go with that. Thank you. Okay, we're up to ordinances and resolutions. It's all you.
Ordinance number 26-011, an ordinance amending and restating Kenton Codified Ordinance Section 1240.99 relating to the penalties and revenues for violations of the zoning code and declaring an emergency.
So you've got a copy of that. It's first reading. Any questions about that? I don't know, does the administration want to talk about it at all? John?
I could speak a little bit about it. So this is, our violations of our zoning, it was really viewed as almost an unspecified misdemeanor. Or, if we're going to seek enforcement through prosecution and have police write citation. But, in line with, in this, we've modeled this more in line with some of the other towns that surround us, which specify the degree of misdemeanor, and then if there's larger offenses, they're the same offenses by the same person, the charges go up, the penalties go up. And this is, like I said, similar to other cities that surround us. So it just kind of gives us an additional mechanism and this is really, again, not nuisance, but this is for zoning violations, which sometimes often go hand in hand with nuisances. But that's what this goal is, to kind of increase penalties. We have just so many times where people are just not following our building code. They don't, with parking in yards, with campers and living in campers, and there's a whole host of issues, and this is sometimes a quicker, easier mechanism than filing a lawsuit every time and letting it go through. You file to force somebody to do an action, you have to file in common pleas court. There's additional filing fees, and it always takes a few months before you can get any kind of action, and that's after we spent $600 in court costs. Even though the attorney fee, we're not being charged for that, you still have the court costs that the city bears. So this is, and there's a time where we have to do that, where we have to go through court because of the nature of the violation. But this is just another mechanism that we can go to try to fight these non-compliance issues. So that's what I have.
Okay. Any questions for John on that piece of legislation? If there are no objections, we read that again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks and a day, I guess. All right, next item.
Resolution number 009-26, a resolution tentatively awarding a contract for the construction of the water treatment plant Phase 1 improvements and declaring an emergency.
Cindy?
Yes, so we read the bids, opened the bids for the repairs to the water treatment plant. This is what we have a $3 million grant and a $3 million loan from the 0% interest loan from the EPA on. There was only one bidder, Cook Brothers out of Findlay, Ohio. That bid came in at $6,384,000. It's a big number, I have a hard time saying all that. The engineer's estimate was $5.5 million. That is within the 20% that's allowed. So what this resolution is for is permitting them to, this tentative agreement with them pending the EPA saying everything is good to go and we're giving you a $3 million grant and a $3 million 0% loan for this project. If that falls through, Cook Brothers is not a go. So this is something that the EPA would ask us to do because they want to make sure that you guys are going to approve the project before they spend a lot of time reviewing everything.
And based on that, they'd ask us to look at it tonight.
Yes.
Consider it this evening. So if you have questions, now's the time to ask Cindy or Lynn.
So the 5.5 million, that would have been under the total of 6 million.
Right.
So we're looking at 480,000 over what we
The engineer's
anticipate.
estimate.
Right.
Yes.
So if,
And that's that'll come out of the water fund.
It'll come out of, it'll be added into the loan, the 0% loan.
Okay.
but yes, the water, that enterprise fund would then make those
Yes, that payment.
payments on that loan.
Okay.
They would be made by that.
What all are they gonna improve? I guess I should ask.
There's a whole bunch of things, and I can go get you all the book, but they're gonna get variable speed pumps so that when we drain the water tower, which we're gonna have to do, it'll allow us not to have those big tanks back in town, which costs us $80,000 to rent those tanks for a couple of weeks. They go through all the sand filters. There's a lot of the basins that have leaks in them. They're going to be resealing the basins. Basically, it should extend the life of that plant another 15 to 20 years. There's basically, and there's a filter gallery down below there, and I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to get us a tour of all that. Maybe I'll try to get it before the next meeting. Filter gallery that is rusted, and everything inside of this filter gallery that controls the sand filters up above needs to be replaced. There's not much that's not going to be touched. Another thing that's going to, the meter that's part of our water loss survey will be replaced. We're not sure how accurate that meter is to tell us how much water we generate every month versus how much we bill. So that'll be a new meter there. So I will get us a tour, if not before the next meeting, the following meeting.
And Cindy, isn't it fair? This goes back years where EPA really, they wanted us to have an asset management plan, started really looking at those facilities a lot closer. We ran into some repair issues. There are many things they've pointed out over time. And it was, instead of it being this just all of a sudden, hey, you gotta fix this. It's been, this has not been an overnight process by any means.
And the plant was built in 1968,
I
and
was
there
gonna
has
ask you.
not been a lot done to it other than the lime
Minimal.
sleepers, yes.
Minimal.
Well, and, you know, we need to replace the plant, but the problem is that is not something you just do over a 2-year or 5-year period. That is a very lengthy process, and I feel we can't get to that point without putting money into our facility so we can have that going till we get everything planned and designed. So this isn't the end-all fix, but we have to do this or we're gonna just be going further and further backwards with this plant with no immediate solution.
Cindy, wasn't there, there was a section when I took a tour of it that, like, there was an area where there was a couple of things that they kind of had to come up with something to fix it because the parts were basically obsolete, that's like a tunnel and everything down there was all rusted.
That's that filter gallery,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, that was pretty bad.
You can drive by there and really see the datedness of just looking through the door of the equipment they use. I mean, it's,
It looks like 1965.
Yeah.
68 NASA down in Houston.
You're right on the money, because that's when it was built.
That's what it looks like.
I will make a comment. I mean, that plant has been well cared for over the years.
Yeah.
You go in there, they've really done a heck of a job in maintaining it. And it's just, I like to think 1968 isn't that old, because I was born in 67. Well, I hate to say it. That's pretty old.
I was in high school, but we won't talk about that.
Okay, so would like council to consider this tonight, if possible?
I move to suspend the 3-read rule on resolution number 009-26.
All right, thanks, Rob. Second by, was that Doris? Doris, second. No discussion, just voting on suspending the rules.
Sue Fox Baroker?
Yes.
Lydia Miller?
Yes.
Cliff Winiger?
Yes.
Chad Miller?
yes.
Peg Bren?
Yes.
Doris Blue?
Yes.
Robin Jones?
Yes.
All right, that's 7-0, so.
I would move that we adopt resolution number 009-26.
I
Thanks,
second
Sue.
that.
Second by
Sue.
Peg.
Sue.
Sue moved it.
Yeah.
Second by
I
Peg.
second, yeah.
Any discussion? Okay, let's get a vote.
Lydia Miller?
Yes.
Cliff Winiger?
Yes.
Chad Miller?
Yes.
Peg Bren?
Yes.
Doris Blue?
Yes.
Robin Jones?
Yes.
Sue Fox Baroker?
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Would everybody on the 26th, that Tuesday, 5:30, down to water treatment plant, and we'll walk through before this meeting? Okay, let's plan on that, and if it's something different, we'll send out an email.
Okay, nothing up for second reading, so we got, as you see there, 3 on third. Go ahead.
Resolution number 008-26, a resolution authorizing the safety service director of the city of Huntington, Ohio to enter into a professional service agreement for design and funding assistance of downtown Phase 2B water and sanitary sewer replacement project with OHM advisors and declaring an emergency.
Anyone have any questions or anything you want to remind us of, Cindy?
This is for Franklin and Columbus Street, and it will extend down to Layton Street on those two streets because of all the breaks that we have had in the water lines on those two streets.
I
And
move-
again, there's $1 million funding from the Army Corps of Engineers for both water and sewer, so $2 million from the Army Corps of Engineers.
I move we adopt resolution number 008-26.
Thanks, Chad.
I second that.
Second by Robin. Any discussion? All right.
Cliff Winiger,
Yes.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Bren,
Yes.
Doris Blue,
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
Sue Fox Baroker,
Yes.
Lydia Miller.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Ordinance number 26-006, an ordinance providing for additional appropriations and for transferring funds for the year 2026 for the city of Clinton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Can anyone remind us exactly? I don't have it in front of me. I usually bring it.
It's a lot of,
It's a lot of correction.
the many, for the IT support.
Oh,
There's
yes.
several lines for that because we added different things like the dual mobile and things. And then,
Additional street lighting.
that, I was just getting ready to say that, and then project, water system project engineering was $99,800.
With its phase 2B, the water
Yes.
portion.
But like that's IT, a lot of IT.
Any questions? Okay, third reading.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 26-006.
Thanks, Peg.
I second. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Well, I guess it was.
Wasn't me.
No, I guess it was Robin.
Robin.
Second. Any discussion?
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom.
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker.
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winter.
Yes.
That passes, vote of 7-0.
Ordinance number 26-009, an ordinance amending and restating a codified ordinance section 276.02 relating to the Shade Tree Commission of the City of Canton.
Any questions on this? Sue, anything you want to mention? I'm sorry, Lydia, anything you want to mention?
I know they still had some money left this year, you know, but the lady that Stephanie Miller is coming and doing the new marking of the trees, so I think it's a good thing to keep on doing it.
Well,
And this was for the makeup of the board,
Right.
Okay.
to allow people from not, would have to be within the city.
Within the city.
Trying
Oh,
to get
that's
people
right.
who are
that's-
interested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there any other questions? So that's a third read as well, so.
I move to adopt ordinance number 009-26.
Second.
Thanks, Robin. Seconded by Doris. Any discussion? All right.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom.
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker.
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winter,
Yes.
Chad Miller.
Yes.
And that passes, vote 7-0. Okay, any other matters? Comments from the public? Comments from news media? Council members, administration, Christie, anything? Chief, Captain, Sue, Lydia,
Nope.
Cliff,
Nope.
Nope.
Brad?
Nothing. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm good, thank you.
Yes, so the pre-con meeting for the sidewalk project will be this Wednesday, so hopefully next meeting we'll know the exact start date of the sidewalk project. It is yes, it is a ODOT. We're looking forward to these 2 ODOT projects, so that we don't have to be involved.
I just wanted, today we had Canton Elementary School in today, the 4th graders. There were 4 classes that came in and they get to sit in your seats and we have mock council meetings and everybody played their role. We had a president, loved the hammer, and we had flipping on the light, and we had the kids who were left were the public, and if they had a concern or had to bring a solution, and they would come up to the podium, and then council would then ask them questions, and it mirrors very much. It's interesting, they hear either a lot from their parents or adults, because, you know, they want Chick-fil-A or Texas Roadhouse. But then the other one was, why do you have a project, why don't you finish a project before you start another one? Why is it a mess? Yeah, clean up the parks. So it was good to be able to kind of answer that, but when the kids had to vote for it, it was they kind of really did a great job, so your seats will be filled in the future, but great kids, and the schools did a great job. I think this is our 3rd year for doing it. Fire and police both shared about that. So good group of kids, great job fourth grade, and again, just real proud of our school.
Okay, any questions for Lynn? All right.
The Memorial Day Parade, is that, that'll be before our next meeting?
Yes.
Right, the day before.
And it's on, what time does that start? Is
I
that
think 9:30, 10 for 30. 9:30 lineup, 10
10
step
o'clock
off.
the parade. And if you have any
Lions.
floats, that you're supposed to enter them through the chamber, is that right? And Judd Robinson's kind of heading that up for the Lions.
Okay.
So,
Okay, well,
I have one more thing.
Sue, yeah.
Just take a look. I know some people have already saw it, but we have a new sign at the Elks. It's so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
nicer than
Really
the old
nice.
one.
It does look nice. Well done.
It gives a lot of information.
Okay, then just a reminder, our next meeting is Tuesday, May 26th at 7 PM. And as of right now, we're scheduled to meet. Anyone who possibly can, it'd be nice if you could, meet at the water treatment plant. There, right, just go right in the front doors.
Yep, I'll be there waiting
At
for you.
5:30
Okay.
before the council meeting on, again, May 26th. All right, if there's nothing more, we're adjourned until then.